is ILEG, Infusion Light Energy Gain Technology Screens. This is what I tell you at the end of the day, that when you follow the devil, the outcome is bad. It's always bad when you follow Satan. When you listen to what the devil tells you to do, when you carry on and do his acts, especially when you prosecute Christians, the outcome of it is bad. So, this fellow lost his business. First things first, he wasn't running it correctly. He was cutting corners, products were matching house paints. He was scheming, just ripping people off. Got a package under my desk right here, which is we call the refusal of his own product being made by himself, which he couldn't back up, and he had to send the product back to us because, again, he couldn't do the demonstrations, he couldn't do the test, so he ripped a lot of people off. The network grade 773 fiasco, where he's matched the house paint that I literally could slide off the shelf, anyone could slide off the shelf. Did this with Bear Silver Screen also too. And this is the reason why I can't explain enough that this is the nonsense you're going to be facing at the end of the day of people who do not back their products up, and you, the customer, will be the one end up getting ripped off. So this guy made statements about my company that we were scam artists, that we're ripping people off, we're robbing from them, we're doing all these things, but yet he's the one that went out of business. He's the one that got caught doing all those things he claimed everybody else was doing. So I told you his domain name was up for sale. When they sell the domain name, that means it's disconnected from the site completely. When you see, when they have like the wires and whatever they show in the background, like some kind of like site not connected, that means the domain name is still there. It means it's just not connected to the site. It means in order to activate that, all you would have to do is just go in and just basically just pay whatever they want you to pay, or you owe on the domain name, and your site is connected again. You still have access to go into the site and basically change anything around you want. But other than that, for anyone else to see the site, they can't see it because the domain name is not connected. So for a long while, his site was saying disconnected, 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 disconnected. And then later on, if you don't pay the fees for your domain name, they put your name up for sale, which we saw. We saw his name up for sale for someone to buy it. And that means that now it's in the process of being disconnected from the site. Once they remove from the site, you get the error code that will pop up that says this site can't be reached, which means the site is no longer available on Wix. It has been dissolved. Now, this is a person that was claiming that we were going to go out of business, that we were going to lose everything, but instead, it happened to this person. His site's gone. Completely gone. That little error code, little piece of paper with a sad face on it, that means total disconnection from the Wix server. That means the site has been dissolved. Look it up for yourself. Put the address in there, look for yourself. It's gone. Now, does that diminish the LLC? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to dissolve those. You have to get a lawyer to dissolve an LLC. Can't do it yourself. A lawyer has to do that. So he can't dissolve an LLC because he has delinquents on his LLC, which means that if he tries to open up any business, anything whatsoever, that's going to pop up. It's the first thing that's going to pop up, showing he's missing some very sensitive documents. So he can't ever get a business ever. Once you screw up that first one, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Site is gone. Now mind, the person made the prediction about us. All this stuff was supposed to happen to us. We were to lose our site, lose our business. We were supposed to end up in the street. All this stuff is literally happening to him right now. Size. And if he were somehow to get a business, he can't leave that building. He literally can't leave that building. What's going on in California is crazy. So he's stuck. He's stuck in a situation where he's got to figure out how to survive, how to eat, pay bills. They got to pay bills at the end of the day, so they got to eat. Where he can't go anywhere to get work because of what's going on down there. And we had him up here. We had them on here on the other end. Other end, we have more Mexicans and Dominicans on that side, and that's where they're at. They popped up over there, so they're pretty diligent on this. And him right now, not being documented, he can't walk out of that apartment. And bigger problem he has in the day, if the landlord gets spooked, he starts thinking that, hey, okay, they could penalize me for this. They may ask him to remove himself from the building so he can cover up all traces that was ever there. Problem is that's going to be hard to do because the LLC is actually stamped into his building. So he's got a lot of problems right now, a lot of problems. And then there's the whole fraud case on our end because we're taking him to court. Because again, they committed mass fraud. He ripped a lot of people off on his product. This is what happens to scammers. This is what happens to their sites. They disappear because they get caught doing multiple acts of scam in their site. They go out of business. Now for us, we just got approved. In order to get an approval for what we got, your business has to be legit. You have to have paperwork, which means I had to show multiple documents on my company proving it was it. And then they still got to prove that whatever you're selling is actually real. So they had to come down and see this, and they came in and saw it. That's how I got it in 2 weeks. Now I'm going to be approved for a loan pretty soon. Next thing you know, I can get myself a building and everything else I need at the end of the day. That's how I got the office. You know, you have to show whatever you're selling. You're, number one, they require a license. You have to have a license. You have to have a license to get a loan. You have to have a license, any form of startup program, or any program for businesses. You have to have a license or an LLC. It's one of the two, but most likely they want you to have a license first. License requires LLC. License requires DBA. If you don't have any of that, you're in problem. EIN, you need one of those numbers. Again, he doesn't have any of that stuff because he wasn't running a legitimate real business. He was running a scam. And scams eventually catch up to you. So, I've been doing this for 14 years. I've had my products seen from, I have a screen just about everywhere in the world. And my products can back themselves up on so many levels, it's not even funny. And like I said, for anyone to sign a contract with us or do business with us, they have to see the technology for themselves. So, sorry, eating cereal. So the fact that we didn't end up like that, yeah. Our stuff is about legit as legit can get. That's why we got the contracts. That's why Mr. Bear can walk all over Allentown and produce a fireplace wherever he goes. And we can back our stuff up. Meanwhile, your customers who supported that mess, that's what you got to deal with now. You have nothing. Whatever Holy Grail he gave you the other day, it's gone. And he's got to go to court for this. We're taking this company to court. I don't care if he gets rid of that. It doesn't make a difference at all, period. The fact that we have it documented that his company did this stuff, we can take him to court for it. Doesn't make a difference. So you can get rid of all you want. Mr. Fernando, just to let you know, you can delete your website all you want. You can basically get rid of it. It doesn't make a difference. We have substantial evidence. That's all we have to have. Now, if you did this before we got the evidence, then you'd have been good. But unfortunately for you, we have tons of evidence against you showing that you committed mass scams. And had other people to help you out with these scams. So they're involved in that party too. So we'll see you in court. There's no way to get around that one. But yeah, long story short, yeah, his site's gone. Now when you see the one where it says disconnected, that means the domain name is not connected to the site. That means he didn't pay on the domain fees. That's what that means. So he could have paid that and could have reactivated the site. This is completely gone. As I told you before, I saw his domain name up for sale. See it, guys? Right there. Gone. don't gotta be IT to understand what that means. That means the site is completely gone. People who scam, people who follow the devil, you don't last long. You don't. And the longer you're in the game with the devil doing these acts, the bigger you're going to have to pay for it back. So he's got to worry about how to survive. Because again, like I said, he can't go back to his job. Can't go there. Can't go to any other job because everybody else is going to be asking questions, with documents, all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on down there. He's at high risk. And he's going to have to pay rent pretty soon. And bills and everything else. And so he's going to start a GoFundMe account and beg. Other than that, he's doomed. And the last thing he wants is any attention to the apartment, which he actually literally put a huge arrow right over top of that apartment because the LLC is fraudulent. It's going to bring up some people that are going to have to come to the unit and put him in front of a panel because I guarantee you there's statements that he's not giving them. He's ignoring them. So that's not going to go away. That statement due date's not going anywhere. It's not going to go away. They're going to bring a field officer out there. They can't reach him by email. They can't reach him by letters. He's not picking up. He's not responding. They bring a field officer to the building. That's going to draw attention. And then on top of that, with all the other stuff, crimes he's committed against us and our company and other people, at the end of the day, yeah, having your stuff dialed and followed into the FBI and with the immigration enforcement, and also to involving Allentown Police Department because he's in there too. Not good. His address is sitting right there. Anyone can come up to the door and basically take care of it. So you've got that to worry about. So he may get on camera and act like nothing's going on. At the end of the day, that he's good. No, he's scared to death. But this is what happens when you follow the devil. That's his job at the end of the day. His job at the end of the day is to get you to turn your back on God and to put you in quicksand as fast as he possibly can with lead boots. He's going to drag him down as fast as he possibly can. So, this was the guy at the end of the day. If you guys saw it, his product was better than ours. Interesting. Where I literally can make your stuff with $11 worth of hobby paint, which I proved. I made it out of hobby paint. I sent it over to him. He sent it back. Oh, well, good luck on that. We're going to full company anyway, so we don't care. That's the end of that. I told you at the end of the day that when you serve God, God will basically exalt you over your enemies, and your enemies will basically crumble. And that's what you're watching right now. Now, did we rejoice over this? Nah, it's sad. Could have did something with that. He could have did something with that. He chose to basically rob and steal from his customers. That's what he got. Now, him talking about starting a printing company, man, no. You can't start a printing company at all. The fact that you're operating that printing press in your apartment right now is a violation of zoning. You can't have a machine in there like that. The chemicals alone. You breathe that stuff in. Now, tabletop, yeah, you can use those. But that's a table system he has in there. Can't do that. I actually showed it to a friend of mine. Actually, he's an inspector for zoning. And he said, no, we can't have that unit in there. And then you're talking about running a business? So you mean to tell me you're going to have all types of chemicals in that apartment? All types of chemicals in that apartment. If you're running a business, that means you have to buy your chemicals in bulk. If you're buying it in bulk, that means you have, where are you going to put it at? Where are you going to put these chemicals at the end of the day? I know you're not putting them in an apartment. I counted one of the demonstrations with 30 aerosol cans back there. So, and they're supposed to be in room temperature, not air conditioner temperature, because they can implode. Room temperature, you got to have those cans in. So again, where are you putting all these chemicals? How are you disposing the chemicals once you're done with them? I know you're not sticking them in the trash, because that's a serious violation of the ecosystem. Can't do that. You got to have special dumpsters for that. I got a buddy, like I said, he owns a professional printing business. He can tell you from the door all the different loops and hurdles you have to go through in order to get a license to be able to do that at the end of the day. It's insane, but they have to have it that way because you don't want people putting dangerous chemicals into any day trash can. It gets hot outside. Those things could basically give off a gas and any kind of fumes that can hurt somebody. Somebody walking past. It basically, the trash department, sanitation units have to go pick that stuff up. Anything could be in there. So, no. You have to have special licensing for that. Zoning would let that pass. Not an apartment. You never run that in an apartment. Anyway. There's no way the way you're running that. The fact that you're using that machine in there by itself can get you in trouble. I can make one phone call, license inspection and zoning, and have them do a report on the building. Because eventually, somebody's going to get killed with that machine. Business license required for California. California, you have to have a business license. But your business license and how you design it, how it's done, you have to explain what you're selling and what category, class your business license falls under. So when we mentioned we work with a chemical, we had to explain the chemical itself. Like, is it water-based, is that and the other, so on and so forth. Now, once you apply it's water-based, and they got a clear understanding, then you have to contact sanitation. You have to contact sanitation because they have to know what kind of stuff you're dumping out in trash. So in order for him to be able to have a business, he can't do it there either way. That's not going to happen. But in order for him to have a business, he's going to have to show location of where he's basically running the company. Second, he's going to have to show what type of chemicals he's using, put a list of chemicals you're using, and to put actually what you're making, but the list of chemicals. And then he's going to have to contact sanitation to let them know that, hey, look, I need a special dumpster out back for whatever I'm throwing out. That's why you have to contact them. So he needs a hazmatic dumpster. And they're not cheap. They're expensive. I mean, mine, I think, well, if I had one, well, mine would be hazmatic because mine's water-based. But, yeah, if it had any high chemicals in it that weren't water-based, then that would be an issue. On top of that, mailing it out, you're supposed to have a form on the back of them explaining exactly to the United States Postal Service or in customs what exactly that you're shipping out. Is it flammable or whatever, combustible, all that stuff. All that has to be in there. There's no pack, no whatchamacallits on his boxes. Show you an example. You gotta have one of these. You don't have one of these on the back of your box, you're in a lot of trouble. Because this tells exactly that you have permission from the United States Postal Service to ship this thing over because you have this documentation on the back showing you water-based projector screen paint information sheet. You're going to have one of these in the back. And you're going to have to know how to spell when you write these things in too. And you have to basically go to the right company that's going to basically take your stuff and run it through a test to make sure it's supposed to be what it is. And then you print out this, because this is what they're going to give you. And you print out this, and you can put this on the back of your boxes. Do you have one of those? It's a hazmatic form. Oh, yeah, but we're supposed to be the ones that's supposed to be the scammers, and yet we got all the documents. Isn't that interesting? We got all the documents. Yeah. Man, you buy something, come to your front door, you open that thing up. That thing, what happens if a can implodes? Metal cans are the worst. That's why we don't use metal cans. Metal cans can't breathe. So, Partha uses metal cans. Jamie started copying us because he copies everything we do either way. But he's already using metal cans. Metal cans can't breathe. Every chemical, any chemical, doesn't make a difference. Basically, it expands. It does. It expands in cold. It expands in heat. It expands. So mail trucks don't have heat in the back of them. Did you know that? They don't have heat. They don't have air conditioning at all. You slide the door with a fan on them. That means if your container's back there, it's going to basically heat up back there. And if it heats up back there, and usually most carrier trucks don't have air conditioning, that means that you run the risk of imploding, which means that your can sucks inward and the lid becomes pressurized, which means if someone were to pop that, you can cause some very serious damage to them. So if you're just mixing stuff for the sake of just mixing stuff and don't know what you're doing, you can kill somebody. Yep. The house paint wouldn't have that problem. It wouldn't implode like that. But then again, I've seen that do some weird stuff, but it wouldn't implode like that. But you're supposed to have that label back there. On the back of your box, you're supposed to have that. You don't have them, get in trouble, get fined. So in order to get that, your stuff has to go through that paperwork. You have to have licensing in order to get that piece of document right there. If you have a license, you can't get that. So how in the world are you going to be running a chemical company, because that's pretty much what it's going to be, a chemical company, because you are working with chemicals. How are you disposing of these chemicals? I know you're not dumping this stuff down the sink, because that'll definitely get you in a lot of trouble. I know you ain't taking it out back outside and dumping it down some drain, or then because that'll definitely get you in trouble. So how do you dispose of these chemicals? I think those chemicals can't be anywhere near a sink. Can't go outside with the water hose and spray it, because wherever's in that water, wherever that water goes, contamination. You have to put them inside of a special dumpster that they bring a special truck to come pick up. And then they want to know location. So you can't have this location outside of an apartment complex. But now you're going to bring zoning involved in it, because they're doing what? They're operating a chemical factory in freaking near an apartment? Yeah, you're going to get yourself arrested. Because the thing about it, you have other people around you that are in the apartment with you. And that means every time when you basically use a 3D printer, it gives off a scent, it gives off a smell. Because you're melting plastic, it's heating up plastic. And that goes airborne. Within your environment, that can cause and lead down through time to cancer and other illnesses. But if other people are able to breathe this in, that can also make them sick, including young kids and babies. So, if you're using it once in a blue moon, you got a tabletop, and it's a tabletop. Using it once in a blue moon here and there, that's okay. But if you're running a business where you have to get chemicals in at bulk, you get that plastic in at bulk, and you're doing this every day at a regular basis, at a 9 to 5, you're in trouble. You're going to go to jail. Especially if licensed inspections walks into that apartment and sees how overcramped it is. First of all, it's overcramped and it's crowded. It's a fire hazard in there. Because it's closed. There's boxes and boxes of items stuffed in corners. It looks like somebody, like somebody just moved in and they didn't unpack anything. It's just stuff cluttered in corners. It's like somebody's been living there, like hoarders. Hoarders who've been living in the area for so long, but they don't throw anything away. It looks like a hoarder episode. I'm not joking at that bust on the guy. It's true, because I've seen the pan when he panned around. I was like, what the freak? Like, dude, why do you have so much stuff behind doors and corners? It's got a whole coat rack thing in there in the corner. We had stuff, clothes packed into that, because they've been living in that building, in that apartment for a long time. And they don't have, mind you, in order to get a storage unit, you have to have proper paperwork. You can't just open up a storage unit. It's all kinds of crap for a storage unit. So, yeah, oh, shoot, he don't even have a lease. He don't have a lease. Well, that poses a problem, too, because you have to show lease. Yeah, if he don't have a lease. If you don't got a lease, he's in a lot of trouble, because he got no way to fight that one at the end of the day. They can just kick you out anytime they want. You ain't got no lease. You can't even go to court over that. Now, see, I find it interesting with Brisson not bringing this up. For as long as I've known this guy, I've never brought it up. It never dawned on me that he was living in that place for that long. I really don't care. But now it kind of out. Now it all adds up now. It adds up. Because who basically lives in an apartment for that long at the end of the day? Especially a one-bedroom apartment and you raising a family? You're raising a family in a one-bedroom apartment. The first thing you think is when you have a baby coming, like, okay, well, this changed quick. I'm going to get me a second job or whatever, trying to get a promotion, whatever, because we got to move and get a bigger apartment. If you're going to move on and get a bigger apartment, most people look for a house. Might as well rent a house. But to be in the same unit that long and then lie about moving on top of that. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. As I said, you follow Satan. Satan told him to go get in front of a camera. That was going to do all that stuff. Get in front of a camera and fake like he moved. And he did exactly what Satan told him to do, thinking it was a good idea. Satan, it just, man, he just makes you guys jokes at the end of the day. He sits back and he laughs at you guys because he gets you to do the dumbest stuff. But sit back with them other demons and say, look, I'm going to get him a lie on camera. You're going to get busted too and get outed. It's going to be hilarious. He sits back. He probably makes a bet to other demons like what that stuff they can do to you guys. And this guy sat there and common sense had to tell you it's a bad idea. I knew something had to trigger off me and tell you it's a bad idea. But nope, we got it on recording with the whole thing on recording. We got the whole thing. Got up there and lied on camera, said moving such a pain and this, that, and the other and blah, 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 blah. And doing big things in 2024, or 2020, I think it was 2024. And we can't show you the rest of the house. There's boxes everywhere. Look, let me explain something to you. You can move into a dorm. People will still show you the place at the end of the day. I moved in multiple places. My freaking living room was like Stonehenge. It didn't make a difference. Kitchen, bathroom, backyard, so and so and so. Now, for those who are sitting there and say, well, how come we don't show you where our new place is at? Why? Because you've seen the stalkers we have on our accounts. We told you we had stalkers on our account. There you go. That's why we don't show. And guess who else was stalking us? Fernando. Because we got enough information on him, and he's documented multiple times stalking our addresses, even talking to our landlords. So he was stalking us too. Hey, you creepo. Don't worry, buddy. Keep in mind, Fernando, in the situation you're in right now, anybody that I call in contact can make your situation far worse. I'll let nature take its course. I'm that type of person today. But I can call license inspection and have them go through your unit like you did with mine. Remember, you call license inspection on me? But the difference when license inspection came through, they like their technology. I got a chance to meet somebody over there. I go back and forth from there to get information. I learned a whole lot about license inspection and the zoning and all that, so I can use it to benefit myself for my building. See how the Lord turned around and took your Satan's work and turned out to a benefit to us at the end of the day. It benefited me in that process. But me, on the other hand, if I make a phone call, you're out of that building. And you know they're going to contact your landlord. I can contact the people over there where your LLC is at and inform them about the information that we have near the desk, which will basically speed up the process on either side. I can contact FBI if I want to, which I haven't done yet. I can reach out to them and say, hey, look, I found this guy over there. At the end of the day, he's not legal. He's committed multiple crimes against my company. They already have you on file over there already. The only thing they don't have is that particular document right there. I'm going to make a phone call right now on that right now. Or I can call the police district in your neighborhood right now. Or ICE in your neighborhood right now. I can reach out to their branches. I have access to it. So at any given time, I can make any one of those phone calls and your life could go from this to a complete, absolute nightmare. Why haven't I done it yet? I believe in letting nature take its course. I'm not you at the end of the day, Fernando. That's the difference between me and you. I have an option where I can take you out anytime I want to, and I choose not to do it. If you had that option, you would do it in a hot second. Because you know why? You're full of hatred, that's why. There you go. People like you, it's going to happen sooner or later. You're your worst enemy at the end of the day. You don't have to do much when it comes to people like Jamie. Just sit back and just watch. They'll slowly self-destruct. He'll think of Satan have him doing something even more crazier, and he'll be even deeper in. When that document reaches and they contact me, I'll go from there. Until then, it'll just sit there. I bet he hasn't learned anything from this at all, period. He's probably going to go on his channel, rant, scream, carry on, yell. Same thing. Satan's nonsense. Dig an even deeper hole for himself. See? That's the outcome of following Satan. The very things you said were supposed to happen to me, you cursed yourself. And now I'm in a situation that all I have to do is make a few phone calls to a few agencies and it's over. You still got a process server coming to your door about that CCB. You're selling yourself off. I don't know how you're going to pay me. You're going to owe me $60,000. Each one of those CCBs we sent out, at the end of the day, the process server is 30 grand. So when they get there, they're going to, I told them, post the door. Post your door, because neither one of y'all coming out. That's what's going on right now. You don't want to step foot out that door. So he told me to post the door. When you get the post, contact them and let them know. You don't have to go anywhere. It'll be done by Zoom call. When the day comes up for Zoom call, you sign in. If you don't sign in, you forfeit. If you forfeit, I'll have a debt collector come to your front door and take whatever's left. You should have never started anything with me, man. You should have just left me alone. And I did try to give you a break. I did. You can't blame anyone else. I sent you a cease and desist order, Fernando. You have long did so much dirty stuff against me. And yet, I was nice enough to send you a cease and desist order. To give you a second chance so you can go about your business. But you didn't want to learn, did you? And I got to show the judge that too, that we did give you the opportunity to get out of it and you didn't take it. So, as I said before, that when it's going to be Zoom call, you don't have to go anywhere. If you don't log in, then what's going to happen is you're going to lose your forfeit. You're going to lose either way. You touch the copyrights, right? All right then. The federal court's a little different. This one you will have to show up. You will have to go through a courthouse. You know what happens in courthouses, right? You walk out that door, you know what may happen. So again, I've got no control over that. Hopefully, you can get past it. Hopefully not. But you're going to have to need ID to get through those guards in order to end up in that courtroom. Then we get this thing taken care of. We got criminal charges coming up on you. So a lot of stuff coming up. So we have to get this straightened in court. Because you went out and did this mess, remember. So, court date comes up for federal. It involves criminal charges for touching the copyrights. If you don't show up, you get a bench warrant on you, which means they will come to your address and they will arrest you. So, I would advise you show up. Well, there's no way out of this, man. There's no way. There's no way out of it. You're going to have to face the music sooner or later. When you did this stuff, you're going to have to face it. You know, got myself in trouble when I was young. I was a man, Jamie, at 16 years old, more of a man than you, facing 40 to 80 years, and I still showed up for court. Even when they let me out twice to see my family. I could have easily ran out of that whole situation. Nope. I got in there when the day came, and they came to come pick me up the next day. I was there waiting on the porch for them. Put handcuffs on me, put shackles on me, got in that truck, and dealt with whatever had to be done. Because the only way I was going to live a normal life was to get past that first. So that being said, that's what you're going to have to do. Unfortunately for you, the stuff that you did is definitely going to take a lot of time from you. It is. He did a lot of dumb stuff. You touch copyrights, man. That's a very serious charge. And on top of it, we have him, cold evidence of him right there touching our stuff. We got messages we had back and forth for chat with him. We kept posting them over and over again, saying this is mine, I'll do what I want to do with it. We have multiple of his old company splattered, writing over top our copyrighted material, doing whatever he wants to do with it, we might get 80 years out of this. This is just for one. I might hit 2 of the copyrights. 2 of them. He's going to 80 years. He'll get more than that. And he's already, what, 51, 52, something like that? He don't have that kind of time. But he's going to have to go past it to get through it. So, here's what it is. I have to file that second one. Anybody else but that? You want to be the tough man, get on camera, and do whatever you want to do. You want to be the tough guy, right? That's what you want to be. Get on camera, talk a lot of trash, be the tough guy. Okay then, you be the tough guy. I got to do what I got to do. I can make a phone call right now, and I can end it now. But I'm going to sit here and let nature take its course. Till then, I got to do what I have to do. This is what I'm going to file for today. So we get all this done and get you before in front of a judge. Like I said, it's a cyber judge. These are going to involve jail time. But he's going to owe me 30 grand for each one of these. And that 30 grand at the end of the day, if you don't, whatever you have left over from whatever you're selling, they're just going to come in and just going to take it. If you don't have any banking accounts, I doubt you have those. So pretty much they'll go from there. McAfee, you touched one of my copyrights. So I forgot about it. You did touch a copyright. It's on the receipt. You took it. It's a little square box. You got our copyright there. So I'm going to file one of these against you too also. I have your address too, by the way. We got his address and all this information. He lives in Flushington, Ohio. Population 800. The detective guy we hired found him in no time at all. Whoop, got him. Yep, that Facebook page helped. That's what it did. He came on our page carrying on and acting up. And he showed off his Facebook page. That's what we found his real name. We didn't know his real name at first. His name is Silent Wake 5. That's how we got his real name. File electronic form. Start. Alright, we'll get that done. And I have, where's the other one at too? Oh, that's on the other account. This account. Scammers or impersonators. We'll get that taken care of today. Alright, well, that's basically it. That's what I said. That's the downfall. And you can't get mad, buddy. You can't sit there and get mad and go, oh, it's wrong. How's it wrong? You did touch my copyrights, right? So you touched my copyrights. I have a right to file a claim against you. You went in and doxed your addresses, right? I have a right to file charges against you. You want to harass my family members and carried on? I have that right. Don't get mad at anybody. The only person you should be mad about is yourself, because you did this to yourself. It's the only person you can get mad with. You did it to yourself. So any of the agencies I contact today, that's your problem, because you're the one that committed these crimes. If you commit these crimes, I'm going to do what I have to do. Follow the law. I'm going to go and file. That's what I'm going to do. I have your address and all your information. That's what I have everything sent to. And you want to follow the devil. The devil kept that game going, and now look where you're at right now. Alright, that's basically about it from me. I ain't done. I got paperwork to fill out. I'm about to go get myself another license. I need a... Okay, go for a business tax wholesale license. We got one of those. Let me see. Applying for a corporate license. Corporate license registration. Federal requirements obtaining the EI. I already have EIN. No, done with that already. Got license already. Got that too. So another thing you got to go through. You have to go through a health safety permit. Oh, and I got a vendor's license. I got a vendor's license and I got permits because I went through. I studied zoning. I was fascinated by what they do for a living, so I studied a lot of stuff about all different stuff you would need to have a proper zoning to run a proper business and facility. So yeah, I know my stuff in that. Thank you so much too. If it weren't for you guys sending that guy over, I would have got a chance to meet him. He's a really nice guy at the end of the day too. And you guys want to sit back and say, we won't. We'll buy what? We're about to go company only. What are you talking about? My stuff's already contracted. I'm all ready to go. All I'm waiting for now is my paperwork to come from Uncle Sam. I'm done. Boom, 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 boom. 10 companies already lined up, ready to do business with us. So yeah, especially when you got the most powerful technology on the planet right now. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You guys wasted all that time. You went nowhere with this at all. I want to set up on his channel and rant and look at the mess he got himself into. The other one, his website's dead. There's nothing operating on that site right now. He can't even back up anything he has on there. He has no license or nothing. He can't back up anything on his site. That's Part A site down the drain. The other guy, who you thought made a black screen paint, didn't even make it correctly. Colors are coming up in dark. And he turned out to be a nutcase, sending pictures of himself half naked all over the internet. And that crazy nonsense. We're about to sue his building over that stupid nonsense. This is what you guys had that was supposed to come against us at the end of the day. It's it. A half naked guy, crazy guy, screaming in his apartment. Another guy who sat there and lied on camera about Mr. Philosopher and making screen paint products that didn't even freaking exist, and the game was non-existing. And the other guy right now whose business completely collapsed. That's what you had against us. This was supposed to take on us. And the other one, McAfee, which was afraid to show his face because he's afraid he's going to lose his house in the process. Which he is going to lose his house in the process. This is what you have. Cancel receipts and refusal payments. This is what we had. This was to take out my company at the end of the day. This is what you guys believed at the end of the day. Oh man, good luck with all that nonsense in the day. As of 2026, we cut all customers off. We're done. We're companies only. My goodness, that is a shame. Let's think about the stuff we could have developed with you if you had trust in us. Well, too late.